Stop. You think you're just reading books? Think again. Every reader belongs to one of 12 types. If you've ever picked up a book, you're already on this list. It's scientifically proven. Watch until the end, and you'll definitely discover which type you are. Find out before it's too late. The Series Addict. This person doesn't read books. They conquer entire universes. They know every character's family tree better than their own relatives. They only care about long-running series. 10, 20, even 30 volumes. The more the better. A trilogy? Cute. But I'll barely have time to get attached to the characters. A standalone book doesn't even interest them. Where's the rest of it? Where are the other 10 volumes? The Book Juggler. This person never reads just one book at a time. They'll simultaneously start a romance novel, a biography, a sci-fi epic, and a psychology textbook. I'll read this one on the subway, that one before bed, and this one only at breakfast. Their brain is like a browser with 20 tabs open, and all of them lagging. They're convinced that parallel reading is the only truly efficient way to read. Reading one book at a time feels like eating the same meal 3 times a day. Why would anyone limit themselves like that? The Goodreads Grinder. This reader doesn't read books. They tick them off a goal list. They don't care much about the meaning of a novel. What matters is the data. 100 books a year. All Nobel Prize winners. Every author whose last name starts with A. How many % am I away from my goal? That's the only thing I need to know right now. The Literary Snob. Meet the Literary Snob. His bookshelf looks like a 19th century museum. Antique covers, heavy volumes, and a mandatory portrait of Nietzsche sitting proudly nearby. He reads only the classics that have stood the test of time, preferably in the original language, and looks at you with quiet contempt if you're holding Harry Potter. Vampires, dragons, and magical schools are not literature to him. They're kindergarten. I don't read books that haven't aged for at least a century. If the author is still alive, we'll wait. The Instagram reader. For this reader, reading doesn't begin with the first page. It begins with a tripod. First comes the perfect angle, then the coffee, the blanket, the candle, and the carefully chosen plant. The cover has to match the interior. Otherwise, the book doesn't make the cut. Sorry, Dostoevsky, you're too red for this color palette. Then comes reading a couple of pages. That's enough to post my cozy evening and add 3 autumn-themed hashtags. The Annotator. This reader never leaves a book alone. After they're finished, the novel looks like it has been investigated by the police. The pages are covered with yellow highlights. The margins are filled with huge comments, and dozens of colorful sticky notes are sticking out from every direction. Wait, I need to highlight this. Yellow. No. Red. Red is for the important stuff. They can spend 10 minutes on a single sentence because there's something hidden here. After they're done, the book no longer belongs only to the writer. It becomes a shared project between the author and a restless person armed with a highlighter. The book quitter. This reader doesn't torture themselves. They start every new book with enthusiasm and drop it just as enthusiastically a few pages later. Life is too short for boring books. Their bookshelf is a graveyard of unfinished stories. The rereader. This reader isn't looking for new stories. They keep returning to the old ones. They know the dialogue by heart, yet still worry about the characters as if it were the first time. I already know what's going to happen. That's exactly why I read it. And they also own 3 copies of the same book, just in case one wears out. The Skimmer. This reader doesn't really read. They scan. Long nature description, skip. Inner monologue, skip. Philosophical reflections, also skip. They only want action, dialogue, and plot twists. For them, 500 pages feel like a quick snack. I finished this book in 2 hours. The Audiobook Listener. This reader has mastered the ultimate 21st century life hack. Reading without opening a book. Novels are playing in their ears 24/7. During a run, on the subway, while waiting in line, doing the dishes, and even in the shower. Book snobs scoff. That's not reading. But they don't care. This year alone, they have already read 60 books, while the snobs have barely finished 3. The only problem? They might soon need a new pair of ears. The old ones have been worn out from overuse. The Book Sniffer. Their reading begins with a deep breath. The smell of fresh ink and printed paper is the ultimate perfume for them. In a bookstore, they conduct a full-scale scent investigation. The author, the genre, and even the cover don't matter. They go straight to the heart of the experience. An e-book is a tragedy. Their nose is a whole different story. Soon this reader will need a separate bookshelf just for it. The Goldfish Reader. This reader can finish 300 pages of a book, and the next day ask, wait, what's the main character's name again? They forget everything. Names, settings, historical periods, character motivations, and especially the page where they stopped reading. They are constantly flipping backward, trying to figure out, wait, what is even happening here? But they have one unique talent. They can reread the same book every 6 months and genuinely feel like they're discovering something new every time. In the next video, all types of writers will be explained. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you enjoyed it.